Hi, Wastelanders. I am Sean Barrett, your host, and with me is my co-host, Cody Barrett. Hi, Cody. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Doing fantastic.
Doing fantastic, right. John. How about you?
Hey, it's a great day here at the racetrack. All right. Well, anyway, welcome to the Utopian Wasteland. If you're liking our podcasts, please like, follow, subscribe, submit, all those great things. Help us build up follower numbers, and then we can get subscribers, and then we can get sponsors, and we can do even more.
Right.
Because we really want a studio. You know.
We want to keep doing this. We want to put more effort into this.
You know what? I'm actually really loving this.
Yeah.
My regular job
sucks.
Well, it doesn't suck. It's just mundane.
Yeah.
There's no thinking involved. So I'm having fun doing this. I hope you're enjoying these as well. So today, in the past, we have talked about a lot of the ups and downs with the developing AI and robotics changes, mostly a lot of the downside. Today, however, I want to take a look at the positive side with a glance at medical advances that are already developing. So many things. And I'm just touching on a tiny bit today. Rather a specific area. Today, we try to keep these podcasts fairly short. So first, let me remind you, before I jump in, eventually they'll be longer. Before I jump in, I want to remind you that the articles I'm referencing today are in the description. Now, we've been finding out as we're posting to the different podcast channels, and we're on a whole bunch now. Pretty much wherever you like to find your podcast, you can find us on now.
Please.
Thanks to this guy's work. Yeah. Oh, he's been working really hard on that, and that's fantastic. But we're also on YouTube, and YouTube, I get really big description areas, so everything is for sure listed there on YouTube. So check that out too. And in the meantime, do your own research. Don't just take our word for it. We are just aggregating a bunch of information, bringing it together to present to you today, but we encourage you to be skeptical and look up the facts yourself. So, back to this episode. Today I'm going to be focusing on the dream of many of us who are getting older. And I'm in that category, and you're going to get there. There is a potential scientific fountain of youth. Actually, a number of them.
Like the one from Pirates of the Caribbean?
Just like that, only totally different.
Oh.
As always, we'll see...
good, I hope.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be good. As always, we'll see how it goes. You know,
less death involved with that.
Yeah, hopefully. They haven't gotten into a lot of human testing yet, so the hope is that everything's going well. The rats are doing fine, but we'll talk about that more.
Okay.
But as always, we'll see how it goes. With everything that is progress, there's always ups and downs and stumbling blocks. It's not without disagreement and some controversy in the research world, but
of course,
that's to be expected with every advancement, right?
Always.
Yeah. There's always naysayers, and then things need to be peer-reviewed to see if they get the same results, yada, yada. Okay, so Dr. David Sinclair at Harvard Medical School, he's got his own department at Harvard named after him.
Oh.
Yeah, so he might know what he's talking about. He's been working for quite some time on reversing aging with gene therapy.
Oh.
Not just helping you feel better, but actually reversing aging. The gene therapy helps... Hi. Hey, we're doing selfies. The gene therapy helps cells to return to a more youthful state and showed signs in old mice or increased energy, improved organ function, and even a slightly increased lifespan. I mean, and what they said by slightly increased was 30%.
Oh!
And these were mice that had aged naturally. Sometimes when they do this research, they chemically age them so that they can do their research faster. But these were like 9-year-old mice. And yeah, anyway. And it worked. The most recent study was done this year on mice that had aged naturally, as I was starting to say there, rather than being artificially aged. Side-by-side photos of the gene-treated mouse and the untreated mouse showed obvious differences. So the gene-treated mouse looked much younger. All of its hair, good coloring, etc. To my knowledge, this is not peer-reviewed yet, though. It's just been done by them. And the research is ongoing, but it might be a step in the right direction. Now, I want to emphasize that generally speaking, the actual scientists are not saying we're just years away from immortality. Headlines you may read or social media posts about immortality being achievable very soon is mostly exaggerated to get your attention.
Right.
In fact, Dr. Sinclair himself feels that we are a long way off from creating even an immortal mouse, not to mention a human. In the interview, he said we haven't even figured out how to make an immortal yeast cell, let alone a more advanced mammal. So, the best science has accomplished so far, though, is to increase the life of a mouse to 3 times longer. Now, imagine that extrapolated to humans, and a lot of humans are living to 100 now. 3 times longer, we're hitting 300 years. And this makes me happy because I'm one of those weirdos who would love to live 300 years. I've got so many creative projects I want to do. I need more time. I'm happy about this sort of thing. But still, the research is promising in more ways. Dr. Sinclair says that in theory, every cell in our body has a backup code for how to reset to a young and healthy state. Now, while they haven't fully figured out where that information is stored, they have been figuring out how to turn it on. Basically, our cells relearning how to rejuvenate themselves. So, all the gray hair that I have to deal with suddenly is coming out as regular dark hair again, and my aches and pains would go away, and so on. So not only extending life, but extending quality of life.
Okay.
Yeah. They have had great success in animals in restoring vision, improving body and nerve function, and slightly increasing lifespan. They've improved vision in monkeys already. So they are hoping to try the therapy on the first blind patient in August of this year. So, next month. Imagine a gene therapy that could return full vision to somebody who has lost most or all of their vision. And we're on the doorstep of it.
That's incredible.
It really is. Sinclair's team found that when they could treat the brain of a mouse, it started learning again and showed signs of returned memory. They feel there are strong implications for Alzheimer's disease and perhaps all age-related illnesses. In short, they're figuring out how to return the entire body of it to a younger state so that the body can heal itself. And as I said, we're going to be talking about other medical things in future podcasts. This just reminded me that I read today that there's a team that thinks they've come up with a vaccine for Alzheimer's. Yeah. And they're hoping to start human trials very soon. At this point, I probably know what you're thinking. Believe me, I get it. I thought it too. It sounds like the perfect product.
It sounds like the perfect product.
This is going to be a treatment only for billionaires, right? That's the thing with it I was thinking. It's like, oh, sure, this sounds great, but you got to be rich. Well, Dr. Sinclair talked about that too. At the moment, he's also focusing on bringing the price down. Right now, it would be about $100,000 for a treatment.
Right.
Yet, that's in the realm of getting a loan for a lot of people.
Yes.
Really, or making payments. I mean, a lot of medical care hits $100,000 really fast.
Of course.
He's working on bringing it down to $100 a treatment.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, so that everybody would feasibly have access to this.
Right.
So, like I said, $100,000 sounds high, but all medical care is. I mean, an MRI costs you $5,000 just to go in. You can spend $4,000 or $5,000 a day in a hospital bed.
Right.
You have major surgery, you're jumping into $20,000, $30,000, depending on what the surgery is for. So, I mean, imagine if you got a loan, even a small one, but now you have 300 years to pay it off. Even if it was still at that $100,000, you got 300 years to pay that off. I think people can handle that.
Yeah.
Or 500 years. Or 1,000 years. I mean, that 300 years goes by, you get another treatment.
Right.
Yeah. So, is it worth it? As for me, I'll take an increase for now to buy time for more research. But yeah, I have too many things I want to do before I die, so I would absolutely love even a few hundred more years. Of course, Dr. Sinclair's Harvard team is just one of the many groups around the world working on slowing the reverse aging, or slowing or reversing aging. A study at St. Jude Children's Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee, in the USA,
Love
is
St. Jude.
Yep, is they're looking at a kind of cell called a senescent cell. So this is a cell that stops dividing, but also doesn't die off and leads to aging. So, normal human cells, they keep dividing, renewing, refreshing. These senescent cells, as we get older, all humans develop them, and they just stick around, take up space, and cause premature aging and, or just natural aging and different things like that.
Right.
However, it's typically, as I said, it's typically associated with old age, but child cancer survivors also end up with elevated numbers of these cells, resulting in very premature aging. So the kids survive the cancer, but at 20, their body is acting like a 50 or 60-year-old. So, it's still a difficult thing.
Of course.
Well, there's a class of drugs known as senolytics, and it's been shown in mice to destroy these senescent cells. The treated mice went from graying, thinning hair and physical health problems to young-looking darker hair and healthier bodies, kind of like the other research that they were working on at Harvard. Now human trials will begin on childhood cancer survivors to see if the treatment can reduce or reverse their premature aging problems. Their progress will be tracked over the course of 6 months, then rechecked every 5 years. And they're hoping to start these human trials real soon. Yeah. Of course, anti-aging researchers around the world are watching this study closely to see if it can be used for anyone to reverse aging and help the human body to be at a younger and healthier state. In other words, it's not going to just help these childhood cancer survivors, but it could be helping everybody.
Right.
Yeah. At Juntendo University in Japan, my apologies for mutilating the word probably, a team led by Professor Toru Minamino is working on more targeted methods of eliminating only the unneeded senescent cells. Some of those cells, it turns out, are necessary for things like healing. So this method aims to create a simple vaccine to train the body to remove only the unnecessary cells. So while the group at St. Jude's is trying to eliminate all of them, this guy in Japan and his team are working at just eliminating the ones that are bad, so they're trying to differentiate. So, very cool stuff.
Indeed.
Yeah. So now, with that and the knowledge that there are many, many more research teams trying to slow or reverse aging, now imagine AI systems programmed specifically to analyze data. As research continues, AI can massively speed up the progress. Former Google engineer and futurist Ray Kurzweil believes we'll achieve immortality by 2030. Well, the guys at Harvard and other places, they're more cautious than that. They think it may take longer, but, I think he's maybe a bit on the hopeful side, but he's been pretty accurate in some of his other futurist predictions. He's not a psychic, he's a scientist, and so he's extrapolating development and going, well, I'm going to guess by 2030 we may have immortality. And, maybe. All of the science and the computer technology is advancing so quickly now that maybe it's possible. So, dear listener, what do you think? Do your own research, share your thoughts in the comments. Please do your research first, though. And, again, links to everything I'm talking about are in the description, particularly on our YouTube channel. So that's it for this episode.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us today, and please keep listening. If you like this podcast, please tell others and encourage them to listen. Everyone needs to know this stuff. Absolutely everyone. And while I know that AI is starting to make the news more, and there's some rough sort of surveys on how much people are hating AI already, and it's a growing number. There's a lot of backlash already.
Of course.
What I don't hear talked about in mass media enough is all of these medical advances and talk about the robotics and all of that. Another example, there is a new surgical robot that they just put through some trials, which was incredibly successful and accurate. So, healthcare is only going to get better and better with artificial intelligence and robotics. I think there needs to remain that human element,
Right.
but it's a new tool, a new resource that doctors can pull on. So, again, spread the word. Everybody needs to know this stuff. Please be sure to subscribe to this podcast wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. And again, we're now all over the place, so you actually can do that. Then also subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you like what we're doing and you'd like to help us create more, and we would really appreciate your help, we invite you to become a patron on Patreon for as little as $5 a month. Patreon patrons get exclusive stuff. There's even some merch at higher levels. And, of course, we're also on social media, and you can find all of our links at utopianwasteland.com. So there we go. Until our next episode, remember, you can ignore technology, but it won't ignore you.